Imagine having an AI agent that can seamlessly able to switch between different business department knowledge bases and instantly finding the exact information for you. In this tutorial, I will walk you through step by step how to build a smart AI system using n8n, Pinecone vector database, and OpenAI model. In our example for the tutorial, we will have business with 3 different departments. We are going to have 3 different namespaces for each department. The namespace will contain knowledge base related to this department. And the most powerful thing is we have AI agents which will have 3 different tools, and each tool will only able to execute the vector retrieval based on each department. So this tool will only execute customer support vector retrieval, and this tool will execute vendor relations, and this one will execute sales knowledge base. And the AI will intelligently be able to determine which tool to execute based on the user question. If user questions related to troubleshooting, for example, it will execute customer support, and it will search through only customer support knowledge base and retrieve back the information to OpenAI to process it and answer the user question. But before we dive into the steps, let me show you a quick demo of what we are going to build. You'll see how the AI agent able to understand the user questions and decide which tool to execute based on the user questions, and then this tool will search inside the vector database, the Pinecone vector database, and retrieve the information back to process and return back to the user. And after that, I will create everything from scratch, so I'll walk you through step by step how to do the same workflow. Okay, here so you can see the chat button. We can click on it and we can test the AI agent. We're going to ask a question: what is the refund policy? And this question is related to customer support. So what we need to see is AI able to execute the tool that's going to search inside the namespace that has the information for the customer support. So to see which tool AI has been executed, so you see here on the right side, this is the AI agent, and here's all the tools under AI agent. And to see which tool has been executed, usually you'll see this arrow here under this Pinecone, and you see, if you look here, you see this customer support knowledge base. So the AI determined that refund policy is related to customer support, and executed the tool to search for the knowledge base to get the information. So here you see the output is all the relative informations related to the question. So it returned multiple information here, and then the AI will take this information and process it and return the response to user here. So the refund policy allow you to return product within 30 days, and that sounds right here. Okay, so ask one more questions. Do you have any promo this fall? And this questions is for sales, so we need to see that the AI able to understand that this is a sales questions and execute the tool to search inside the sales knowledge base. Okay, so the information, the answer, yes, we have a full promotions offering a 20% discount. You see the tool has been executed is sales knowledge base, and here's all the return information, and the OpenAI process the informations and return it back to the user. And to make sure that this information is correct, I just want to show you the knowledge base for sales to look at it and see if this information is correct. Okay, so here for the sales promotions, full sales, it's 20% off. So looking here, we have promotion 20% discount on the smart home kits. Okay, so that's very accurate. I hope you see how valuable this AI is, and let's now go and build everything from scratch, step by step. Okay, so first thing, we are going to click on home page here, and then it will take us to this page, and then we need to add workflow. So we click on add workflow, and you can delete this for now. And so what we need is we need to triggers, this workflow triggers once we add files to each department folder in Google Drive. So we need to add Google Drive node, which going to set the triggers once we upload the file. So here we search for Google Drive, and you need to choose one, say, on changes involve a specific folder. So you click on this, and I have this set up already, but let's set up from scratch. And this is a credential that's going to connect n8n with your Google Drive account. So you can click create new credential. Okay, it's need like client ID, secret, and to do that, we there is a like a docs here. You can click on it to see how it works. So click on the open docs. Okay, so first you need to create a Google Cloud account. So click on Google Cloud, and you just make an account here. You can click start free. I already have an account. So I'm just gonna choose this account. Okay, and the second is create Google Cloud Console project. Click on the console here, all the way in the top right. And then on the top here, you will see that there is an arrow, and I have like few projects here, but what you need to do, you might have my first project, and you can just click on it and go to the next step, or you can just click on new project here and just name the project like first project or n8n, whatever you want, and just leave this location and click create. So it's creating the project. We will wait till this is done. Okay, now it's done. So you click back to the arrow, and then you choose the project that you just created. Okay, now you need to enable the APIs. So to enable the APIs, we need to click on APIs and services here. Okay, so now you click on enable API and service. And once this open, you need to search for Google Drive API. So I write Google Drive here, and it will, the first one is a Google Drive API. So you click on it, and then you enable it. Okay, once it's done, we go to the next step, is configure your auth consent screen. So to do that, here you first make sure you are on the project that you selected, and you click on auth consent screen. So you'll do this, and then after for user type, select internal for access within your organization. So if you have Google Workspace, you click on internal, but if not, you just click on external. Here we have a regular account, so click on external, and then you click create. And we need to add some information here. So in the name, you can just add any name you want, n8n project. And the email, it's usually the email that you sign in with, and you can ignore the logo. and also you can ignore the app domain. So for the authorized domain, this is the domain for n8n. So let's see here what it asks us to add. Okay, so in the authorized domain sections, it said like add n8n.cloud. So you're just gonna copy this and go back and add domain, and then you just enter n8n.cloud. And developer contact information, you can add your email here as well, and save and continue. Okay, so we finished this step. Let's move on to the next one. Create Google Ask Client credential. So we are going to create the credential. So okay, first you just click save and continue. Save and continue. And for the credential, you just click on credentials here. And you need to add a credential, so you click on create credentials. And you choose the auth client ID. And for the application type, you select web application, and you can put any name here. And for authorized redirect URLs, so let's see what we're going to add here. So copy the auth redirect URL from the n8n. So what we will do is we will go to n8n workflow, and then we're going to copy this redirect URL and add it here in the authorized redirect URL. Once it's done, just click create, and you should be all set. You will receive this information, the client ID and the client secret, and that's what we will need to add it in n8n Google Drive. So I copy the client ID, and then I add it here, and for the client secret, just copy it and paste it here, and you click on sign with Google. Okay, so I forgot one thing, which you need to publish. Once you finish this, you need to click publish app. So that's why we got this kind of error. So you go back to ask consent screen and then click publish app, and then go back to n8n and click on signing with Google. Just click advance and go to n8. So here you click select and continue, and it's all good to go. Then you go back to n8n, you'll see it's account connected. You can exit here, and it's all good to go. So you click back here, so we have the trigger changes involving a specific folder. And so you can select which folder. So we're going to create 3 Google Drives, one for each department. So for the first one, we choosing customer support. So we define the folder, and then we need to define what's gonna happen. So when we create a file inside this folder, which is a knowledge base, this node will be triggered. So you click on file created, and that's all we need for here. You can go back, and then we need to duplicate this for the cells and also for the vendor relations. So you right click, duplicate, and then another one. And I just forgot to name it, so we can know which one we are working with. So the first one is customer support. Okay, here we're going to do the same thing. We're gonna triggers on changes involving a specific folder, but here in the folder we need to select the sales folder here and watch for file created. And also we're going all the way in the tab and rename it to sales. Okay, once this is done, you can go back and we do one more time for the vendor relations. So we click on the Google Drive, and then you let's rename it first here and add vendor, and same thing, folder, we're going to choose vendor relations and watch for file created. Okay, so now we have 3 nodes for each folder in Google Drive. Once we add a file in each folder, it will trigger this node. So if we add file customer support, it will trigger here. So what we need after we trigger this file, once we create the file and it's trigger, we need to download this file. So we're going to add another node here, and it's also Google Drive. And we need to search for download file, and then we're going to select the credential we created earlier, and resource will be file, and select file. We don't have anything here because we need to execute the previous node, so we can execute the previous node first to see which file ID it will take from the previous node. Okay, so there is no need to add a files to trigger to get this file's ID. So I'm going to add here, and then I'm going to I have a file for the customer support, so I'm going to add this file. And then I'm going back and add a file in sales, and the same thing for vendor relations. Okay, and once we add the files, we can go back to the workflow, and you'll see you can go back and go one more time. You can actually, if you see error because we haven't do it from the first time, you can go back to the first node, and then you can test fetch test event, which is going to get us a file for the customer support. And we will need this information to define it here. So you see the information now is defined. So we need to choose which file that it's going to be downloaded. So there in the file list here, there's 3 items from list, or by URL or by ID. So we need to click by ID. And for the ID, we need to locate here the file ID and then drag it to this input here. Make sure you are in schema. And for the file ID, you can actually search for ID and just move around till you see the ID for the file. Okay, so here's the name is customer support, and the ID. You can click on it and just drag it here, and you can go back, and we're going to duplicate this twice, one for each department, and just connect it to each node. And I forgot to rename it to just make sure everything is organized. So here we will call it download customer support. And here we rename it download sales. And it's already because we duplicated, it's already added the json.id from the previous node. So we can click execute previous node, and you'll see it already take this json.id for the sales knowledge base. So it's all good here. We will do the same thing for the vendor. We're going to execute the previous node, and it's all good to go. Okay, so after we downloading the files, what we need to do next is we're gonna take this file, and then we're going to insert it into Pinecone vector database. To do that, we just click here, add a node, and we need to search for Pinecone and choose a Pinecone vector store. So we're going to click on it, and then we need to create a credential. We need to go and create a Pinecone account, and then after we get the credential and add it here. So you go to a Pinecone website, which is pinecone.io, and you sign up. It's very easy. And once you sign up, you log in, and you'll see this page. And all you need to do is just click on create index, and default, you just write any names like first project, Namespaces, and here we need to set up the model. So the model it's going to be used for embedding, and embedding, it's meaning we're going to like convert our chunks or our text into tokens, and we convert these tokens into vectors. Vector is numeric representation for these tokens. So you just click on any of this, but I prefer to use text embedding 3 small. So you click set configuration, and it will already take the dimensions and the metric. Once we do that, we can click on AWS, and you can, it's already because we are in the free tier, so it's already select the US East one, and then after you click create index. So here it's created the index for us, and we just need to get the credentials. So you're going to click on ABI keys, just click any name and create ABI keys, and then you just copy the key. And once you copy the key, you go back and select add the credential, and you add the ABI keys you just created. Click save. Couldn't connect. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we set up the Pinecone. So for the operation mode, what we need to insert this downloaded file into the Pinecone index. So you're going to click on insert documents, and the Pinecone index, it's called first project, the one we just created. And this is what we talk about here is a namespace. So we're going to, in each one of the folders, we're going to create namespace. So for the customer support department, we're going to create a namespace here, and we're going to call it customer support. And the namespace, it's as we said before, it's just like it's isolated for this department. So any documents coming from customer support folder is going to go to this namespace. So it's not mixed with all other departments. So when you query the information later on, it's only going to search inside this namespace, which contain documents about customer support. Okay, so first, actually, we need to add an embedding model, and we need to choose one of this model. I'm going to choose embedding OpenAI, and we need to create ABI keys. So to do that, you need to go to OpenAI and sign in and create an ABI key. So let me show you here. So I just went to OpenAI, sign in to the dashboard, and on the left side here there is ABI keys. So that's where you need to go, and then after you click on create a new secret key, and just add the name and create the secret key. So that's what you need. This key is that's what you need to copy and go back to n8n, and then create a new credential and you can paste the API key here and click save. And for the model, I will choose text embedding small, and then you go back and you need to add the document. So the document is what we downloaded here, but we haven't executed this node yet. So let's execute it first. Click on test step. So here it take the customer support file, and then it's downloaded. So after that, we need to take this file and then insert it in the namespace of customer support. So you click on the document, and then click on, we need the data loaders that going to load this document into the namespace. So for the type, choose binary, and for the mode, you can just leave it as default. And for the data format, also leave it as default. So this is just going to automatically detect the type of the document. And that's it. And just go back. And then for the data loader, we need to add a text splitter. The text splitter is what's going to split all the text into the document. So it will take this text and split it to small chunks. So after you click on the text splitter, you can choose one of this. I'm going to choose a recursive character text splitter. And for the chunk size, just add like 500, and the chunk overlap add like 150. And that's it. We just added the first namespace. So to test this, you just need to click here, test the step. Okay, so I have an error here, and I think it's something has to do with the quota. So I think this means that I need to add more money to my account. So I'm just going to do that very quick, and we can go back and test it. Okay, so I just added more funds here, so we can just click on test. And now it's worked. So let's go back to Pinecone to see if it's added the index, if it's added the namespace. So we go back to database, and then you click on the index, the first project, and you see here all the chunks of our customer support document. You see there's one namespace. If you click on namespaces, you'll see it's added one number of namespace customer support, and 4 numbers of vectors. Okay, so that's all good. Now let's add our second department namespace. So you go back, and I'm going to duplicate this and just do the changes to the cells. So we go back and you click on the Pinecone, and then you click insert document first project, but in the namespace we need to add a new namespace for cells. So you write cells, and we need to rename it here to just separate them. So I write here cells, and here just go back and rename it to customer support. We need to add the embedding model, so we are going to choose the same one, small text embedding 3 small. And for the document, the data loader, binary, the type, and that's it. You go back and click on the text splitter, recursive character text splitter, and we do 500 in the chunk size and 150 on the chunk overlap. And that should be good. Let's test it. So first execute the download file. And once the file downloads, we're going to insert it into Pinecone. So here is going to create a new namespace called sales, and it's going to create the vectors for sales inside the namespace. So here we go back and refresh. As we see here, new namespace called sales and the vectors inside. Okay, let's do that for the last one, the vendor. So I'm going to duplicate here and then connect the nodes. I will rename it to vendor. And for the namespace, we add the namespace for the vendor. Select the embedding model. First, you select the credential that you create, and for the model, we choose 3. For the document loader, we select binary, and for the text splitter, I choose a recursive character text splitter, and for the chunk size 500 and 150 for the chunk overlap. And once we're done, we click here on a download file to download the files and then insert it in Pinecone here. Okay, it's all done. Let's go back to Pinecone and see our third namespace. Okay, so it's all done here. The namespace vendor and the number of vectors 5. Okay, so so far we created the documents. We also insert each document into its own namespace, and this is the first part of the project. And the second part is retrieving this document through chat. So we need to build the AI agent and attach all the tools that's going to search inside each of the department knowledge base and get us the information back. So to do that, first we need to add the trigger. The trigger will be chat, so any input, that's what's going to trigger the next workflow. So you click here, chat trigger. And what's happened when we write questions? What's the next node will be the AI agent. So we need to click on the node and write AI agent. And you select the AI agent, and we need to choose tool agent here. And we'll leave the prompt as it is. And we can go back. So the AI agent requires 3 different nodes. The first one is a chat model, and this is a model that the AI is going to process our input and output. So you can click on OpenAI chat model, and you can actually choose a credential that you created earlier. And then the model here, I'm going to choose 4.0. And then you go back. And then for the memory, it's the conversation history. This is where it's store the conversation history for the session. So there's multiple options here. The easier one is the window buffer memory, but you can choose Postgres chat memory or Redis, but for now I'm going to choose the Windows buffer memory. And then the context window length is basically how many like messages that you need to store. So just choose 5. And for the tools, we need to create 3 tools. So click on tool, and what we need is a tool that's going to retrieve informations from Pinecone vector database. So this tool, vector store tools, retrieve context from vector store. So that's what we're going to choose here. Okay, so in the name and description, this is very important because this is what it tells the AI when to execute this tool. So when we're going to create 3 tools, we need to add a name and description for each one of them to tell the AI to execute this tool when you're going to, like for example, when the user questions about customer support, you need to execute this tool that's related to customer support. Okay, in my previous project here, I added a name and description. So for the customer support, I just called it customer support, and for the description is retrieves the documents related to customer support. And for the limit is how many chunks is going to be returned from vector database. So if you have a large document, you might need to increase this number. But for now, we just keep it at 4 as a default. So I'm going to go back to our workflow, and then I add customer support. And for the descriptions, I'm going to copy this one. I'll add it here. Then go back. And this is the first tool. And this tool, we need the vector store and the model. So for the vector store, we're going to choose the Pinecone vector store. And this is where we add the namespace and the index. So for the index, we only have one index, the first project. But for the namespace, we need to add the customer support namespace. So this tool will only going to go to the namespace customer support and search through the document for the customer support. So we have to make sure that the name is exactly matching the name in Pinecone. And for the operation mode, yeah, we just retrieve documents, so that we can leave it like this. Okay, and it needs embedding, but first I'm just going to add the model. So I'm going to choose the credentials and add the GPT-4o. Okay, and once this is done, I will add the embedding for the Pinecone vector store. So we're going to choose the embedding OpenAI, and then I'm going to choose the model is text embedding 3 small. Okay, once this done, we finished our first retrieval for the customer support. Now we're going to add our 2 retrievals for the vendor and for the sales. So we can duplicate this and just change like the vector name and the description. So here the name would be sales. And I'm gonna go back to my project previous one and just see what I wrote in the description. So okay, for the description, I added this tool to retrieve and help user with any questions related to sales. So I'm going back, and then I'm going to add this. Going to back, and then for the vector store, I can duplicate this and add it here for the model as well. For this one, for the Pinecone vector store, I'm going to rename it. Oh, sorry. Just click here, rename it to sales, and it retrieves the document, the first project index, and for the namespace we need to add the namespace for sales. Okay, looks good. We need to add the embedding. Choose embedding OpenAI, and then add text embedding 3 small. And for OpenAI, the chat model, it's already 4.0, it's already duplicated. We don't need to change this. Okay, so now we have our second tool. We just need to connect it here to the AI agent. So now we only need our last tool for the vendor. So I'm going to duplicate this and connect it to the tool and do the same exact thing. For the name, I write a vendor. Let me actually go back and see what I wrote in my previous project. So I wrote vendor relation and then retrieve informations about vendor, contract, template, product quality, shipping. So I'm going to copy that, go back to the vector store, and then paste this information. Okay, now I'm going to go back and then add the vector store. Can copy this, duplicate it, and then I'm going to rename it to vendor. And for the namespace is the vendor namespace. That's what we need to add here. Then we add the embedding. And then we can actually just duplicate the OpenAI model and add it here. Okay, I just want to make sure that everything is renamed correctly just to organize everything. So this one is customer support. Okay, once this is done, now we have our AI agent connected to 3 tools, and each tools has its retrieval from its own namespace. This tool customer support namespace, this one sales, and this one vendor. Okay, now let's test this chat and see the response. So we're going to click on the chat here, and then we need to write questions related to customer support. I need to know return policy, okay, so the return product within 30 days of purchase for full refund. Okay, so let's see here the AI agent, and this is all the tools under the AI agent, and the tools that got executed is a customer support. And that's good, that's what we need. Now let's test another question for vendor knowledge base. Let's actually go to the document and see what question we might need to ask. Okay, I'm going to ask a question maybe related to product quality standards. So what is Nexus Smart Quality Control Checklist? Okay, so I'm going back and I'm going to ask these questions. Okay, and you see here the same answer we have in the knowledge base and the vendor Pinecone namespace that been executed and give us the exact answer we have. Okay, and if you want to add the chat to your website, you can basically just go to add a chat to external application. You click on more info, and you can just take this embedded code and you can add it anywhere in the body tag of the HTML file, and you will have the chat embedded in your website, and any customer can just interact with it, and it's going to use this backend to navigate through all this department. You can add as much department as you want and as much namespaces as you want, and add your own files to each department. Well, if you found this tutorial helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel. I will be posting more videos like this about n8n and other AI automation. Thank you for watching.